cute, by the way.
I just want to point out how much I enjoy that it was during the Miss Pandaria trailer playing that you decided to talk about pandas. That doesn't mean anything. I just, like, as you're talking about pandas, I was like, I can picture it.
Well, that's the only one that I can actually remember of it happening, but it happens a lot. They don't believe me anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if my sarcasm is actually like what I really think or feel. There's no identifier, there's no line anymore to where sometimes even I'm not sure. And I have to be like, am I being sarcastic or am I being serious? Because I don't know.
That's John's whole life.
Yeah. That's
well, yeah, he's a walking conundrum. You
Yep,
like that?
That's me.
Conundrum.
That's me, 100%.
That's better than what people usually call him. They usually call him a curmudgeon.
Yeah, that's a step up. Actually, curmudgeon's a step up from what they usually call me. But
True.
anyway, we should do a show.
Yeah, let's do an actual show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where we talk about, we may talk about pandas, but they will be World of Warcraft pandas in this case.
Maybe.
Probably not going to talk about pandas, though.
Well, that's racist.
Species?
I mean, we could if you really feel in the pandas. They do. They're an endangered species.
Especially since the Volpera. Now all of a sudden, Volpera are out there and pandas are just a thing of the past. It upsets me and hurts my feelings.
I know. They just push pandas right under the bus.
So we have another critter. We could just love this little fox-looking critter that may or may not steal my change out of my pocket.
There's a new animal now, panda. We don't need you.
I'm not bitter, I promise.
Welcome to South Roundtable, episode 269. My name is Ben Bumhofer. With me, as always, is John Jagger. How's it going, John?
Hello, Ben. Jeez, you really just flew into that.
Well, yeah, because I want to jump back to the Panda Volpera conversation.
Oh.
I started the show so we can actually include it in the show.
Well, I mean, okay, fine. Hello, Ben. It's Friday night here in Azeroth, and we're kicking things off at the round table because Ben wants to talk about animals, unsurprisingly. Ben, hi, thanks. We're here.
Thanks, John. With us this week is someone who I feel like I have the pleasure of calling friend. I hope so. She's pretty damn awesome. But Belle, welcome to the show.
We're besties.
All right.
Like, I would cry at your funeral.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and that's a big, you know, I don't like a lot of people. I'm just kidding. I love everybody. But yeah, we're brothers from another mother. Because I'm a dude, right? Because there's no girls on the internet. So today.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
No such thing. They definitely don't. There's just never any girls on the show. And there's definitely none who like World of Warcraft.
Right, and they're not good at World of Warcraft either. So if you're expecting, you know,
I mean, how can they be? They don't play it, so
exactly.
How can they be good at it if they don't play
100% right.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's the only reason why Pandaren and Volpera are in the game is to attract the girls, and it just doesn't happen.
Interesting. Well, I guess that's pretty true because girls kind of flock to the animals, right? Like, I'd hate your guts, but if you have a cute dog.
I totally play female Pandaren because they're awesome.
I love Pandarens.
Oh, they're the best, aren't they?
I love them because they're not perfect, and I think it's nice to see that. I like to put slut mugs on the pandas because I think it's interesting. The fur kind of changes things a little bit, so it's not, as sensual as you would think, but...
Well, it's funny because when I started getting the monk tier for the newest for Antorus, I go through, I'm like, okay, this is great. I got the appearance for the legs and everything. I put them on. I'm like, that's the same color as my fur, and it looks like I'm not wearing pants. A little weird.
Pants are overrated, though, right? I think we can all agree there.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, I mean, nobody's ever like, oh, her fur is showing.
That's actually true, now that I think about it. I don't know that anybody's ever gotten in an uproar. But then again, Belle shows a little butt cheek with her black mage weave set, and everybody loses their mind.
I think it's because we grew up watching cartoons, and, you got, like, Bugs Bunny out there in the nude.
No, he's wearing gloves.
Oh, right. He's got gloves on. But nobody's ever like, where's his pants?
Same with
gloves and feet, like boots or socks, are the equivalent of, like, nipple covers on images to make it less,
Yeah.
It's got a tiny nipple cover. It's not a boob. It's just skin. Apparently, that's what the internet says. I don't know if that's true, but
I actually got in I was going through Hulu and I was like, oh, I had no idea this was on there. And so I turned it on and watched it. I watched the pilot episode of Tiny Toon Adventures.
Oh, wow.
And one of my favorite things about that is they draw the bunny and then they're like, we need to appease the censors. And then they put a shirt on him. And that's the change they make. And they're like, perfect. I was always like, is that really all it takes? Just a shirt. And then all of a sudden, it's okay.
So, okay, this makes me think of just the different gear sets and how they look on the different races and everything like that. And Bella, like you said, the Mage Weave stuff, your butt's hanging out. So, and I know I used to talk about this game a little bit more than I do lately, but Final Fantasy XI had like specific armor sets for like leveling. So if you're melee, you had like the certain sets from like say 1 to 10 or something like that. And it was this really like skimpy harness thing, but it looked exactly the same between male and female. So the men are running around like this little skimpy harness thing. The females are running around little skimpy harness thing and everything. And it really makes me wonder, who is the fashion designer in WoW? Like, think in-game story-wise and everything, who's like, just the actual armor merchant who's all like, okay, I've got this great, big, awesome, massive bit of armor and everything for you, Mr. Paladin. And here's the same exact thing for you, Miss Paladin. And no, it is very different.
Well, I thought I had an answer there, but I really don't. Because it is very different.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. And I mean, just going across the different races, I always find it really weird that all the undead always have their joints showing, like no matter what. It's like, how did the cuffs of their shirts stay on?
They get their boots and they just tear the toes right off of them first thing.
Oh,
yep. Okay. And then they tear their sleeves off.
Well, and females can't really wear makeup because like their jaw's like hanging off. Like no amount of Kim Kardashian contouring is going to fix that. Like that's just going to be ugly forever.
I kind of want to see like a total undead female, like super made up with like blush, but splotches are missing because the skin's gone and everything.
That would actually be kind of cool. Maybe some dark lipstick and some fingernails, like good fingernails though, not like the undead long, like creepy
the spiky talons.
Looks like she just got her fingernails and her hair did, but still looks, freshly dead.
I always thought those were spiky bones.
I would hope so.
I didn't know they were fingernails. I thought they were.
Don't the fingernails still grow when you die, right? Your hair and your fingernails still grow?
It doesn't actually grow. Your skin recedes, so it looks like it grows.
That is a weird bit of nerd trivia you got there, Ben.
That is a little, I thought I had it in with it grows after you die, but you completely, so it doesn't continue growing.
Nope, because the moisture and everything is leaving the skin. It pulls the skin back as it, shrinks down. Just like if you were to put like, I don't know, a piece of meat in the microwave and just, keep it going and everything, it's going to shrivel up and shrink down because you're removing the moisture.
I really want beef jerky now.
I got you.
How did this conversation make you all hungry? We're talking about when a corpse dies and everything recedes, and 2/3 of the show was like, really
because we're talking about drying meat. That's what happens.
All right.
I've been on a dehydrator binge, so I'm like stalking the perfect dehydrator to buy with the intention of. I told my husband it was for fruits for the kids, but it's a complete lie. It's totally for jerky.
Yeah, that's what you do.
He's a sucker. I hope he isn't watching. That would be really awkward.
No one watches the show. Yeah, I think you're safe.
Yeah, my mom probably is. She watches all my stuff. She has no idea about any of it, but she always loves it and is my biggest fan.
Well, hi, Belle's mom.
Hello.
She chat about mothers earlier.
She'll call me and go, honey, you are so right about what you said. And I'm like, what did I say? She goes, everything you said. Okay, Mom. I love you for being my fan. I love you.
That's nice. My mom would disagree with everything I said. That's fine.
I know his mom, and that is a fact.
Hey, while we're talking about disagreeing about things, I feel
Ooh,
like
that
we
fast
should
way there.
look. Sometimes, sometimes you talk about something and it's important. Sometimes you talk about something that's unimportant, and sometimes you talk about something that's just because it's relevant. And so I bring this up with the understanding that what we're about to discuss, I truly don't think it's important, but it is the topic of the moment and we should discuss it. And that
Okay.
is Call of Duty on the BattleNet launcher and whether or not that's going to be the end of our world as we know it.
Yep, the end of times.
Can I speak freely for a moment?
You always
Yes.
can on this show.
Go for it.
Guys, are we that surprised?
No.
I just have to
No.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner. I don't think people understand Blizzard is a company and they're owned by Activision. That's their money. If money can connect by them putting it on the launcher and excuse me, normally I mute, sorry about that. If they can make that money with that connection, they're going to do it because that's money. That has no bearing or effect on us whatsoever as other Blizzard games. There's no, it's not binary. It doesn't mean the end of the world. What does it affect outside of the outrageous token prices, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't see all sides of it, so maybe somebody has to convince me of what's potentially the issue here.
Okay, so the only thing that I figure that people should have an issue with, this is just me guessing. I have no issue with this whatsoever, and the people who are blowing it up, I don't get it. I really don't. But the only thing that I can like kind of see their side on is that, at what point will we be able to just hide icons on the launcher? Like that's the only thing. But even then, it's like, who really cares? I mean, one, Blizzard isn't Steam, not yet. Two, it's way, way better than like Origin and whatever Ubisoft thing is and things like that. So if they are going to start adding more games that are just Activision related to the Blizzard launcher, if you want to play them on your PC, that's a good launcher to have because you know what? It's stable and it updates and it's pretty awesome. So the more money that they're able to get into it and like, pump into the launcher, into more games and everything like that, it's only actually going to benefit us as gamers like going forward in the first place.
I do agree with that.
I just don't buy into it. I have also heard people try and say well, I just want to be able to hide the games because I just think aesthetically it's not nice. And honestly, I think that's people coming up with the best excuse they can come up with because at the end of the day, I think this is 100% people going, I don't like Call of Duty. That game feels mainstream. I don't want it mixing with my cool indie Blizzard games that only has millions of subscribers. I don't want dude bros coming over here and getting in my business and ruining everything. And when somebody says, well, I just don't like the way it looks and I need to be able to hide it. I think that's the best excuse they have because they realize saying, oh, I just don't want junk games that I don't like on the launcher. I think they realize that that's a stupid sounding thing, and they're like, well, I guess I'll say this because I don't have a better excuse. Like,
and saying, I'm scared of change.
it's just, once again, people love gatekeeping in gaming, which is such a dumb thing. Because for a lot of us who are a certain age or older, we remember being in school and hearing...
Hold on, did you just call me old? Because I feel like that's just what happened right now.
When he said some of us, he meant him and me. Because
Yeah.
he and I are old.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm older than both of you.
Well,
That doesn't make you old, though.
That could be. It could mean you're with us on this thought, but we'll see. But I mean, like, I remember in elementary school and stuff like that, it was like, man, why aren't more people into this video game thing? And like, there were a lot of kids who felt like they needed to keep that a secret and that couldn't be something that they could openly talk about. And you spent all this time wishing more people could get into the hobby you were into. Now we have that, and now all of a sudden we're on our high horse of like, well, we want real people in here. I hate that term like that. Real gamers, real video games, real all of that. Like, that's such bullshit. Like, I have no respect for that attitude. I have no respect for people that just can't set that aside and feel like, oh no, the thing I'm into is better than the thing you're into.
I agree. And there's 2 points there that two were made in chat, and I think it's a good discussion. So the first point, which I said, it makes the tokens go up. Well, yeah, that sucks for the people buying the tokens out of the auction house. However, due to the nature of the economy, the people that are selling those tokens so that they can make WoW Gold, that's good for them. And to me, that's a good balance. So if sometimes whenever a new thing happens, like when Destiny happened, I think those things are healthy. And I think sometimes that, that imbalance is nature's way of balancing itself in general. Mm-hmm. So it's good for the people who are selling them to make their money. Well, it's not good for the people buying, but I mean, it just depends on if it's a buyer or seller's market. And that's like real life, guys. So it just is what it is. And that's one of the things that I like about World of Warcraft's economy is it does kind of mimic that. So I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing, because it won't be that way all the time. The token price isn't going to be skyrocketed, forever. It'll, peaks and valleys, all that good stuff. And the second piece to that, yes, adding things like Destiny doesn't go through anything Blizzard related. So Blizzard doesn't host it on their servers. It has nothing to do with Blizzard whatsoever. It's just there. Now, from what I understand, I was forced to watch the Call of Duty reveal because my husband's a Call of Duty fan. So he doesn't know how to use headphones for anything. So I have to hear it whether I want to or not, because that's what's happening. So it does sound like, potentially more Activision stuff might, start going through Battle.net. Yes, that can be a problem if they don't balance it correctly. However, Steam does it just fine. Mm-hmm. I have Steam open all the time. I play mainstream games like GTA. Oh God, I said it out loud. I play it. I don't even care. But I expect Blizzard to do what they normally do, which is to make sure that it's okay and to work out whatever their issues. And especially with the integration with Call of Duty, that's Activision money they're throwing at Blizzard. Mm-hmm. Where can I sign up to get some Activision money? Because that's daddy, right? Blizzard's the son. Daddy, can I have money? I'm pretty sure they're going to make sure from a back-end perspective, technology-wise, that it's going to be okay. There might be some hiccups, but does anybody remember the launch of Draenor? Because I was stuck in the sky for 3 days. I don't know if anybody else remembers.
Yeah. Right up Garrison, just right there.
Just falling.
I was just above and just chilling, just floating for 2 days. But not everything's going to be perfect. I think this is where faith comes into play, and we just have to have faith that Blizzard's going to make sure that it's integrated the way that it needs to be. And as they start adding things, so what if you see the icons? Steam, you see all of them. It's okay. It's not, we have to adapt. It was bound to happen. I'm honestly surprised it hasn't happened sooner.
Yeah.
To be honest.
And I don't mean to, I'm going to apparently make a lot of people in the chat mad, because here's the thing, is this is an opportunity for us to interact with people, and I get to hear other sides of their thoughts and the other side of the arguments. So people in the chat, I love you. I'm going to address some of you directly, but understand it's done from a place of love, even if I'm going to disagree with you. So first of all, is it too much to ask to remove the clutter from the launcher? No, I don't think the clutter's insanely bad, though. I think if you're saying I'm worried that one day it might be bad and we need to have an option for it, sure. But my biggest issue right now is that a lot of the people that are like, oh, it's just so messy. They didn't have anything to say before it was Activision games. They weren't complaining when Hearthstone was on there. They weren't complaining when StarCraft got put on there. It's only now. So I don't buy the bullshit excuse of, well, I just don't like the clutter, because you didn't care until it was Activision. And if you say, well, I liked all the Blizzard games, this is the first time that I have a game I don't like. So then, okay, great. It's about games you like and don't like. It's exactly what I said it was. And the other thing I'm hearing is you have to remember about the token that, we rely on that price in order to play the game. You have chosen a pay model that fluctuates if you're paying by token week to week. If you want a stable pay model for your game, pay $15 a month. That's how you pay stably for the game. If you say, I'm going to opt to play the game paying for it by this stock market method, then guess what? It might fluctuate. It shouldn't be Blizzard's job to go, well, wait a minute, guys. We shouldn't add that to the launcher, because what if people pay only through the token? Like, they should not make a business decision based on an obscure different way to pay for the game that's not
That
even
didn't
the
exist
primary
many
way.
moons ago.
Plus, if you think about it, when the token first launched, it was 50,000 gold.
Yeah.
Now it's at about 200,000 gold. So the price has gone up since it launched. And like John said, it fluctuates up, it fluctuates down. Yeah, this was announced, price went up. Guess what? It's going to come back down. When Call of Duty actually comes out, the price is going to go up again and then come back down. Unfortunately, that's how it happens. And I mean, it's a bummer if that's the only way that you can play WoW, but them's the breaks. And I mean, I don't want to be overly negative about it, but it sucks. And I understand. I'm there with you with that fact that it sucks. But while it's down, maybe try to work extra hard to get more money in game now before it launches so you can, buy some beforehand.
Yeah, I was out of a job for a while. There was a period of time I was not subscribed to the game because of financial necessity, not because I didn't want to play the game. I know what it's like to want to spend money on a subscription and not be able to. And if you can find a way in game to afford it and be able to pay for it that way without having to spend the money, that's super good. But saying that you expect Blizzard to cater to that as a method for you to pay the game is ridiculous.
Yeah, and you're right. Some people can't afford the $15 a month to play.
But what did we do before the tokens? We didn't have any other option. This is fairly new. When did this happen? 2 years ago? This happened in... Just about that, right? I mean, for the last 10 years, we had been doing it the normal way, which is I, too, unsubbed for a period of time because I had to make a choice between adulting and, unfortunately... the electric bill was a little bit more important than the WoW, but we did it before because we didn't have a choice. Those are things that suck for us as humans because we have to adult. But what did we do before tokens? We sucked it up because we didn't have an option. But it does. I understand that it sucks for people. I have plenty of guildies that rely on that as their only means of being able to sub. But all I could tell, one of my guildies was you're just going to have to work the auction house a little bit more and, get the tokens in a couple at a time when they're at a lower price. Try to, beat the crowd.
Yeah. And again, it sucks, but unfortunately it's reality. That's how the real world works sometimes.
Blizzard is a business and they're going to do what they need to do to survive and make money. And that goes from expansion to expansion to game to game. That's the way that they have to work it.
Yeah. Now, that being said, I do have to say that Blizzard is a company that does listen to their subscribers, their fans and everything like that. And that's something where, we are very lucky as fans. It's one of those things where, say there's a big, huge change coming and, tons of people hate it. They listen. There are ways where they can actually, kind of pay us back for the bad things that happen versus, other companies that just say, F off, we don't care.
Yep.
The auction house thing, I just have to be, and I'm definitely not being combative here, but I'm on a low pop server and I make a ton of money in the auction house and it's flooded with crap. I just have to be diligent and I have to be smart about what I'm doing. And, it takes work just like any job where you make money, unfortunately. I know people probably don't want to WoW to have to work, but we're not doing anything else right now. It's in between expansions. So, but I'm on a low pop server where everybody complains they can't make money, but yeah, I managed to do it just fine. I'm halfway to the amount I'm sure we're probably going to talk about later. So it can be done. And I know it's not easy, but we don't have any other choice right now. So the only thing that we can do is to adapt and figure out how we can overcome it in the meantime.
There's
Save
still
up,
twice as many methods to pay for a sub than there was back when I started playing WoW. So
yeah,
I mean...
dance on the mailbox in Stormwind, guys. Come on, we are not new. Go take a stroll over to the shady alley and
honestly, I mean, we have branched into this talk of, what does this do to people who, use the token and all of that. That's still, to me, like, when we started this, like, even if you're the kind of person who is in the situation where you are sitting there saying, this change makes it so I can't afford WoW, or I won't be able to play WoW for a month. Because let's assume, or let's even go say 2 months. Let's say 2 months now you're gonna not be able to pay for WoW because of this decision to put it there. I still don't think, like, I just don't see that as a legitimate, like, gripe about this being added to the Battle.net launcher. Like, you've got other things going on. Honestly,
Well,
like, if them putting Call of Duty Black Ops on the launcher costs you 2 months of WoW, then there are other things you need to figure out and worry about than whether or not Call of Duty got put on the Battle.net launcher.
And I hate Call of Duty, to be fair. Like, I hate it. And it's only because it's not my get down. It's my husband's and, you know, my brother's and all of that. But I absolutely hate it. I can't stand it. But it didn't, I thought I was going to be super mad because I was a little frustrated when Destiny happened. But then I was like, well, I mean, Blizzard owns it. I guess I think people forget that the two are connected. So it doesn't, gaudy, ugly, messy, you know, maybe if we start adding more and more stuff there, as Blizzard starts adding things, maybe they'll adopt the Steam model where if you don't own it, it doesn't show up there. But I think visually Blizzard does that on purpose, because if I'm trying to get you to buy my shit, I'm gonna put everything on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that you buy it because it's there. I have every Blizzard game downloaded onto my computer, and I literally only play World of Warcraft. Why? Because it's there, so I download, because reasons.
I mean, if you want free gold in the game, go back and start doing your garrison missions again.
I agree.
If the one legitimate criticism I've heard, I'll give them this. I don't have an argument against this. The icon is ugly. It is.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
It's absolutely an ugly
It's
icon.
not pretty like Destiny's was, right? Like, I was mildly annoyed. It's ugly. 150%
It's a
ugly.
super ugly icon.
I agree.
I'm loading up my launcher because I haven't actually seen the icon yet.
It was a little off-putting when I first, because I wasn't, obviously I saw, so I knew, but when I opened it up, I was like, oh yeah, it's a little tacky looking, I suppose.
Oh, why are there 4 orange lines on my launcher?
I mean, look.
Yeah, it's tacky.
The thing is, I'm with you. I probably am not going to get this game. I'm probably not going to play Call of Duty 4. It's not my thing. But this is more people in this environment. This is more people who could potentially try out WoW, who could potentially try out Heroes of the Storm. Like, it's bringing more people into the fold, and we should be more inclusive. And if you look at the people who play Call of Duty and you stereotype them to be a bunch of unwelcoming dude bros, well, why don't you be the counter to that and be welcoming and say, hey, welcome. I'm not going to play your game, but it'd be awesome if you checked out some of this nerdy shit that we're into and see if they give it a try.
I'm
I
totally not
agree.
bleeping shits today, by the way. If you're listening,
I think too, bridging the gap with console, right? Because there's an unspoken and oftentimes spoken publicly, you know, there's a difference there between console gamers and PC gamers. While you can do both, right? I can sometimes, you know, try to help my son when he's playing Gears of War. He does not allow me to help anymore, but that's whatever. He's judgy. I apparently don't do what he needs me to do, and I don't take orders properly, and I can't aim because I don't FPS. But I feel like it's a good, the more people we can get on PC, and whatever that means to me, I agree. I think that's more people, and like everybody I know that plays Call of Duty, that means they don't have an excuse anymore, because the excuse has always been, oh, well, it's only on, you know, it's on console, so I have a console. My brother has an Xbox strictly for Call of Duty. It's literally the only reason he has it. So he's obviously excited, but I do think it'll help bridge some gaps there. And I do agree, if it brings more people and it keeps WoW alive, because people see it on the launcher and decide, you know, what do they get, a 20 level trial? You know, yeah. I'm into whatever keeps this culture flourishing, because if we don't have this culture, then, you know, I'm going to be at home in my underwear watching Netflix all day. So nobody wants that.
So something that the chat's kind of talk about too is, and John, you kind of alluded to it, is bringing, you know, new people in, and then people are worried about the dude broness and, you know, toxicity in gaming and everything like that. And something that I actually really enjoy about Overwatch is that it really looks like they're trying to do their best that they can to really stop a lot of that toxic gaming and everything. In fact, Nevermore got a report saying that it's like a thing popped up when she logged into Overwatch. It said, "Hey, we got your reports. It led to actions. Thanks for sending them in. Keep, doing stuff like that and everything." And especially with stuff that's going on with like Overwatch League and them, really buttoning down on, the toxicity, the racial and sexual slurs and sexism and everything like that, like really getting in there and trying to be an example for, not only other esports, but just gaming culture in general. If they bring a very toxic environment to the Blizzard launcher and say those people actually start playing some of the Blizzard games and everything, maybe they'll learn a thing about being a decent human being. Like, slim chance, but I always have hope that people will be better. And the fact that a lot of people are just perfectly fine and happy with, it's just how esports are. Oh, it's just how video games are and things like that. It always upsets me because, again, we need it to be a better place because we were the disenfranchised people. I hate when people are like, "Oh, you're not as big a Star Wars fan as me because of this," and blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, I'm just as big as you, if not bigger. Oh, you're not a big Overwatch fan because you're not, you don't play competitive. I got a hat. I love the game. It's one of those things.
You have a hat, so that means you love it, because I have a shirt and I can't stand Overwatch.
Hey, but that's perfectly fine.
Somebody bought it for me as a gift, and I'm like, do you even know me? Why would you buy me this Overwatch shirt?
But the thing is you're not walking around telling people, yeah, well, you like Overwatch, so you're a jerk. It's
true.
It's one of those things. If we can somehow get into the same kind of mindscape of people are good, be nice to them, maybe it'll help. And I know I'm really reaching for straws on this, but I have hope and I want it to be a better place. And if in some small way this actually helps that out, yay.
I'm just going to, for a brief moment, completely and utterly break the stream and the video on the stream to prove a point here. I am going to do a window capture here and just let people see my screen for a minute. Oh, not a window capture. I did the wrong thing. I messed that up. I said it. I messed it up.
I want to say I agree with the chat that as long as the stuff is on the bottom, below that line, Blizzard stuff should always be at the top. I agree.
Let's do a display capture. Here we go. I just want you, for a moment, all you people who are outraged about the look and unnecessary icons, to take a look at Windows, which nobody is complaining about. And look at this freaking nightmare that's going on in my start menu right here.
Yeah, it's...
Now, okay, before people say it, I could put in a lot of effort and fix this up, probably. But this is what they expect me to work with right out the gate. Look at these icons down at the bar. It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, it's a lot of BS that they did for the touch screens that's completely useless to gamers, because we don't really use touch screens because that's not, we might have a laptop that's touchscreen, but we don't
touch the screen.
Right, yeah, like we don't, in fact, nobody touches my screens, any of them, or any of my children, or somebody's going to lose a finger. Yeah, Windows is awful. I absolutely hate the direction they took Windows in, and it's absolutely garbage. And those tiles are a nightmare.
So
it's a shit show, guys.
My point is that it's not just Blizzard, and if you look at the Blizzard launcher compared to the nightmare I just showed you, it's not there yet. But I have a feeling
four orange lines
that as we get there, we will have the ability to adjust it. In fact, I even saw somebody the other day who just said their argument was, I just want to be able to reorganize the order they appear in. You can do that already. It's already in there.
I've already done that. I don't really know that Blizzard's ever going to let people unsee it. I got to be honest. I feel like it's important to I think it's like you go and buy X amount of donuts, right? But you have to visually see each donut before you buy it. I feel like it's like the more times you open that launcher and you see that game that you don't play, then you're Belle downloading all the games, including StarCraft. I have no idea what StarCraft is or what it does, but it's on my computer, like installed and everything. Other than it was there for me to, I'm probably the people Blizzard is like targeting there.
You're totally susceptible to that.
I'm that guy.
I don't think they'll let us get rid of it necessarily, but I do think if we get to a point where you're having to scroll down the list, they're going to change the way it looks. And you may always have to look at a Call of Duty logo of some kind.
You'll have favorites.
That may be the future. But again, we don't know. Like, this is the other thing, is I don't like when people get insanely worried about something that we're not approaching yet. It would be like, look, I will admit I'm irrationally like jumpy about things about the next expansion. But at least they're talking about the next expansion right now, and I have reasons to believe that, as opposed to me getting irrationally upset about what happens the expansion after the next expansion. Like, I don't get this, what if one day it's really bad? Okay, then what if one day it's really bad? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
So I might be a minority in this, but so I just opened up my launcher again just to kind of look at it, and I didn't know that they added the remastered version of StarCraft on here. I never even noticed, because you know why? I played the first 2 games on the thing. I have, let's see, I've got Overwatch and World of Warcraft, the top 2. Then after that, I have Heroes, Diablo, StarCraft 2, and Hearthstone. Games I have that I never play. And then there's StarCraft Remastered. Again, didn't even know it showed up. And how long has that been on there? Like months at this point. Then Destiny 2, which I don't play. And yeah, okay, so Call of Duty's on there too. I mean, you keep the ones you want at the top. Who cares? You know, and I've got it slid over so I don't even have the names of the games. I just have the icons. It's not a big deal. The majority of the space is going to the game that you want. And yeah, there's ads for other stuff, but that's how it's been already. So
I don't know.
We're going to make it, guys. It's going to be okay. We're together. We are High Mountain, and we are going to, we're going to survive, and it might suck for a while, but we will survive this, just like we have survived all the things, including the ugly icons in general, because all the Blizzard icons, since they redid them, are ugly. Absolutely ugly. They're tacky, and it's beneath them, in my opinion. But I make it. We're going to make it. It's going to be okay. And if you don't like it, forums, man. Logical reasoning on the forums. Don't say cuss words on the forums because they ban you.
Yeah. I don't know from experience, actually, but yeah, I've heard stories.
He didn't say bad words. It was just 2, but I was very passionate. It was about destruction, and it was in Draenor, and I got a little bit of a ban.
Oh. Yeah, well, it's cool. We still like you. Yeah.
Thanks. Aw, thanks.
So yeah, launcher. Yeah, it changes. Things change, like expansions.
You know what I do find funny about it, though? And
what?
Here's something that all you people who are not making up the reason you're upset and are actually upset because you just don't like Call of Duty. I find it hilarious you can't drag any of the Activision games above the Blizzard games. Now, I know probably a lot of people haven't tried this, but go ahead and try it. It's fun. It'll make you feel better. I can put Call of Duty above Destiny 2, or vice versa, but I cannot move Activision above Blizzard, and I think that's hilarious.
Okay, that's pretty good. That actually makes everything worthwhile. Like, put the rest of them on there now. I don't care.
It's just going to be down there. Well, that'll be the next thing, is next people will be like, I want to be able to put my Activision games above the Blizzard games. There's probably a Call of Duty forum right now that is on fire. Why do I have to have...
As long as you're coming to my neighborhood, I'm going to need you to know your place and know your role, because
oh my gosh,
that's where it is when you come to my house. We didn't go to your house. We're not on however you play Call of Duty, so...
This is the BattleNet launcher. It's not the Activision launcher.
Right.
You don't get to be up here.
Oh, this is fantastic. I love this thought so much. Just, why do I have to download freaking WoW in order to play Call of Duty?
So there you go. This was a lot of discussion on this weird topic, but at least we can end on the mutual agreement, at least on this show, that I think it's hilarious that you can't drag Activision games above the Blizzard ones.
Oh, and what's even better is that, yeah, we never even thought about that side that they're complaining too. We got people complaining on both sides here.
Well, maybe they're not.
Oh, someone is. You know someone is.
Can Call of Duty players use forums? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't think so, actually. I don't know that I've ever heard my husband ever say one time that he read on a forum. And I say I read on a forum 40 times a week. I don't know that I've ever heard him say I read on a forum. I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't know.
Who knows?
Oh, they have their own clan forums and stuff like that. That's probably where people are getting upset.
Maybe.
Do you guys want to join my clan? I'm gonna make a
Call of
Duty clan. Do you want?
Clan.
Do you want? Guys, be my
Is it gonna
friend. Let's join a Call of Duty clan.
Target practice.
I'm the worst FPS ever.
Okay, I gotta ask you. Look, seeing as we have now reached a point where we're just looking at the launcher and critiquing it, when you click the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 button and you see the little still image of "Watch the multiplayer reveal" trailer, does anybody else think that thing out in the water is a blurry naked man in a blue cap?
Hold on, wait.
Sitting inside a tube.
Oh,
Like up through it.
Just-
We
just-
have our heroes,
well,
St. Price and Captain Williams, and out there in the water is just Bob. He was on vacation that day.
What are you all doing? He's just yelling up at the army guys. What's going on?
he's probably like, wow, I get a vacation and a show. Oh.
He's just very excited to watch the firefight as he's floating
Movie?
out
What's
there.
going
He's
on?
probably got his little beer cooler. He's probably 6 beers in. Oh,
Just behind him, just like,
that's honestly though, I'd love that mohawk. Like, I know we're supposed to hate all things Call of Duty, but like, I would totally rock dude's mohawk. Just throwing that out there.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good
Well,
Well,
mohawk.
looks like the scalp's all tattooed and stuff too. So would you go like full mohawk tattoo or just the mohawk?
Yeah, because I would look weird in general with no hair on the side. I mean, I'm already balding, right? I'm already hair thinning and all that because old age. But I would totally do it if I didn't have a corporate job.
Oh, you're
but-
talking about the big picture of the guy. I thought you meant the
Yeah.
guy in the little
Yeah, the dude whose
window.
crotch is in my face when I opened the tab.
Yeah, John, it's the same guy.
I
Well,
know
I'm
it's the same guy, but in the picture, because it's blurry, I thought that was hair. Like, like he had it shaved real low on the side. And then I saw it was a tattoo, and it changed my opinion across the board.
What a great hairstyle he's got. It's
Yeah,
King Triton
it
looking
grows
for
so
Ariel.
much-
That's actually kind of funny. Because it's probably...
Oh, and now I'm just picturing him popping up around shores all over the place. Ariel? Splash.
Oh,
All right.
that's good.
Well, Call of Duty 4, thank you for that. Black Ops 4, Call of Duty 18, whatever they're up to.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Thank you for coming into our lives and creating this fun debate.
I just now want a webcomic about the guy who's in the inner tube. Telling us,
Little inner tube man.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's supposed to actually be a buoy, right? Like just a little.
I hope so, because if it really is a man,
Really close to shore to be an actual like normal buoy.
it really is, and it doesn't look like a buoy per se. Don't buoys have?
They're like a lot taller.
Bars?
Yeah, bars and then like the
I look like I was milking a cow.
Bars.
buoys have bars.
Hold on. Things got really weird. Shit. Sorry, I reverted back to my cow milking days from when I lived on the prairie.
Everybody does that now and then. It's okay.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah, you're fine. But no, like seriously, I think it's too close to shore to be a buoy. It's too short. So it's a dude in an inner tube. It's got to be.
Here's what we do. We call whatever it is David. If it's
Okay.
a man, it's just a man named David, and that's fine. If it's a buoy, it's David Bowie, and it's a fun pun.
Oh, that was bad, and you should feel bad.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
you should feel bad about that
Nope,
one.
I don't.
See, I was just going with Bob because whatever it is, it's just Bob in there.
You guys I can't even be sandwiched in between this pun situation happening.
It's okay.
I mean, look, it is what it is.
Mhm.
Anyway, that's
I don't want to watch the video now.
that's Call of Duty.
See if they show it.
It's a battle royale game, right? Like that's what they're doing.
No. That's what PvP is in the next expansion.
Sweet.
Yep.
100 rogues parachute down.
Yeah, that happens now. Without the parachute.
Oh man, chat room is being brutal. I have to play a gnome. I tried playing a gnome. So at a point, Ben and I were going to talk, or we were going to do a feature where we leveled
Yep.
up characters, and I was going to play a gnome for it. And I put in good, solid effort at playing my gnome, but there was just too much whimsy playing the gnome. I couldn't handle the whimsy.
You know, John doesn't like fun, like whimsy.
Yeah, God forbid you have any kind of joy in your life, John. Everything has to be all doom and gloom. Can't have any joy
The
or
problem
happy
is
thoughts.
it wanted
That's
both.
why you didn't fly with Peter Pan, okay?
It's a very sensitive subject. Peter left me.
Yeah, Wendy, Michael, John. Oh, man,
Oh,
Tinkerbell.
wait a minute. There was a John. Yeah, they just said they couldn't have. He said there were too many Johns.
It's the No Johns Club.
No, gnomes are fine. It just was. The problem was they wanted to be serious, but then it was whimsy at the same time. It was like, oh, we gotta really deal with the leper situation. I've got a solution, and then like you go and you inject somebody with something, and then they explode into goo, and they're like, oh well. And you're like, but a person just died, and they're like, what are you gonna do? Sometimes people die.
That's kind of what happens all over the place, though. Now, if they sent in a robot chicken and that blew up, would that be okay? Or is that like just on the edge of whimsical for you?
Maybe the problem isn't that it's whimsical. Maybe the problem is that's just not how I view gnomes. Because I'm thinking like that exact same scenario with goblins wouldn't have fazed me. But with gnomes, I was like, but you just killed a man.
Like, gnomes are supposed to be good characters, not indiscriminate killers like goblins.
That's right.
I feel like, Iron Man said he doesn't trust anybody without a dark side. And I feel like even gnomes have a dark side. You know what I'm saying? Iron Man's pretty smart. He knows things.
Yeah, he's good like that.
I feel like there's a mean streak in every lovable little critter.
What about a Pandaren? Have you ever seen a mean Pandaren?
No, but they are, I've seen them kill, but look perfectly fine while they're killing. Like, you would think it was just...
I know the most evil Pandaren. Lorewalker Cho.
Whoa. Why are you coming at Cho?
Because during the raids, we followed him through different things, and then he threw us like meat at a grinder to try to kill bosses, while he took a secret passage the safe way around, when we could have just gone with him and totally avoided all of that trash, all of those mobs. And he sent us on his merry way as fun.
But how would you have gotten loot?
Hey, I would have gotten the story. I would have been happy.
Well, I mean, he's the lore walker. You could have stayed behind and he could have told you what happened when it was all done.
He didn't give me the option. He just said, hey, go pound your face against that thing.
All right.
I'm telling you, he's a criminal mastermind.
So we're not supposed to tell people to go pound their face against stuff? Does that make you bad?
Not exactly. It's
oh shit, let me redact this text message then. Hold on.
It sounds like what you're saying, Ben.
Because it feels like I've already broken that law, so let me...
Well, it's not a law, it's just a moral thing.
Well, what if our moral compass is like more like a moral oval? Is that a thing?
Nope, that's a thing now. It is.
Yeah, it's totally a thing. It means that sometimes you're really close to your goal, sometimes you're really far away.
It sounds like a really difficult to pronounce children's show. The moral oval. The moral oval.
The moral oval. Oh, that was good.
That makes me think of Moral Oral, that one show that was on Adult Swim.
Oh, so good! I love that you referenced that. So good.
Oh yeah, it was great and horrible. Oh, it was so horrible.
Oh, awful all the way. 150% awful. I agree.
Yeah, it was good though. But no, so okay. Let me ask you this, and this I don't know. This might go into a really big, deeper conversation, but would you say that your character is moral and good?
Oh, me?
Yeah, both of you. But you get to go first because, I like you better.
She's, she fights for the little guy, and will always fight for the little guy, but she also has a really, really good balance between good and evil, and at any moment could flip a switch and go completely nuts and then be perfectly fine the next minute. But she is she stands for the little guy, and she takes being a hero very serious. She's very, very serious about that. But yeah, she could, I mean, she's destruction. We kind of dabble in the fell anyway, so it's one decision away from stepping on the other side and being besties with Gul'dan. So, but she's good. But I have other, my rogue's an asshole. She's a little guy and she's a gnome, and her sole purpose is to irritate people because rogues irritate me. So I mimicked that.
It's true. Where would your character rank on the D&D alignment chart? Would you say? I'm just trying to get a gauge of where it would fall on that.
I'd have to say my monk would probably be neutral good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, always, going for what's right, just not like lawful stuff, but what's right, what's good, helping where she can, and making the world a better place.
Would you break the law if it was good?
If it was something that I had to do, that was for a good reason. Like I would give Jean Valjean bread.
Well, like what? So your moral compass determines that reason as far as whether or not to break the law for something you feel it's good. Because I feel like I could break into a donut shop and it's totally a legit reason. Like,
I don't
know. For the
know.
greater good, guys.
Hangs. Let's get some donuts.
But is there? Do you find that sometimes you might have to really think about, is the thing good?
Well, I mean, that's one of those things. So John and I kind of had this conversation a little bit, just off air some other time, how just because someone's lawful good doesn't necessarily mean that they're good. They think that they're doing what's right by the law and what they deem is correct, but it might morally be a bad thing. So that's out there.
Oh, I see. You're describing it the backwards way from what I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
You're saying that sometimes the law might say, hey, it doesn't matter that such and such was going to happen. You need to follow the law. Like, you can't step in and save somebody, or you can't step in and give this guy a thing because that would be breaking the law. And so that might not be perceived as good in general, even though you're following the law.
BioWare... I call her outside the lines. Is that a form of breaking the law? Because I feel like...
I mean, this all gets very complicated. That's why my characters are all neutral.
My druid's probably neutral. Really unaffected, in other ways. She just kind of goes and, it's all good. Belle's very emotional, and she will burn an entire town down if somebody's mean to somebody unjustly.
Then I look at my paladin. She would be considered total lawful good. She would, follow the light. She would be on the Vindicar and be all like, Illidan, what the crap did you do? Something along those lines. She goes along with it. It's what's right. It saves the world, and it's the just thing.
I've never been on the... Sometimes you're about to say something and you think about what you're about to say and you're like, oh, this could come back to haunt me. I like that whole column, the lawful column. I can never land there. I understand all the other columns. Every other one is good, but the lawful one never really works for me.
Okay.
I feel like laws are just prisons.
See, Belle knows.
Well, I legitimately follow, every single thing that way. I'm saying that specific character does. If I was running some sort of like, I don't know, if I was playing SWTOR, maybe a Sith Juggernaut would be considered lawful evil. Rising to power, using the law to his advantage to do nefarious things. I mean, there are places for lawful characters. Just sometimes you go to the extreme. Sometimes it's more neutral. Sometimes, screw the law. Who cares? Completely chaotic.
Wait a minute. Here's where it gets complicated.
Mm-hmm.
If a Sith Juggernaut, we'll just say a Sith warrior. People don't need to worry about it, Juggernaut.
Okay, I don't know.
So if you're a Sith, and you run around and you kill people and you do Sithy things, does that technically make you lawful good? Because that's what their society is?
Well, it depends on what the overarching galactic laws are and what they're doing.
So
Like,
it's who's looking at it.
Kind of. I mean, the thing is in their mind, if they're following the orders of the Empire and going around and killing things, then they would consider themselves lawful good.
Yeah, they're following the law.
Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing, though. If the law or the creators of the law are corrupt, does that not add an additional layer of convoluted?
I think it
Maybe
does.
lawful evil.
Oh, right. I think it would just put him at lawful evil.
I don't know. I'm kind of like.
Although, again, who's determining what is good and evil?
But what if you know whoever made up the law that you're enforcing because you're lawful and that's what you do? What if they're corrupt and you're just can't do it, so you're no longer lawful, but you're not lawful because you don't want to be lawful. You're not lawful because those who created the law are corrupt and you are going to fight tyranny.
Yeah, did you see Black Panther?
Not yet.
I did.
Oh, there's
It's up for download now, which I don't know if I'm supposed to say that on the internet, but I don't go to the movie theater unless it's a pants-worthy movie where I have to put on real pants.
Definitely a pants-worthy movie.
So like Avenger, Guardians,
Mhm.
Black Panther. I didn't really follow a lot of the comics when I was younger, although some of the crossover that happened in the comics for Infinity War I paid attention to, but he wasn't a huge part of my nerd life in the comics. But yeah, I do need to watch it though, because I feel like I missed out on some things when we watched the Infinity War that
It might be my favorite Marvel movie.
Wow.
Actually. It's really, really amazing.
I don't know that there would ever be anything better than Avengers, to be honest, but maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
Original Avengers?
Yeah, the only problem that I had with the whole Black Panther thing is instead of people just enjoying and, the nerds rejoicing that we had a new character introduced into the MCU and all this stuff, it was super political and race related all over the social medias, and it just hurt my feelings because to me, we should just focus on being nerds and let that be our agenda. So that's probably why we actually haven't watched it yet. I think I was a little...
Gotcha.
But I do want to watch it because...
Oh, yeah. So all the outside of the movie political stuff aside, it is a fantastic movie.
Cool.
But there is a character who goes through that struggle at one point. That's why I bring it up.
That's my kind of struggle. I feel like that would be me, maybe. I feel like I would just look for a reason to break the law, so maybe not.
Well, there you go.
I gotta rebel somehow.
Thug life, right?
That's right. I parked in the handicap spot. Just kidding. That's for jerks.
Ben, every time you try to sound cool.
I know.
Every time.
You know what it is I've tried to figure out what makes Ben, right? Because I don't see Ben angry very often, and I don't even know that he knows how to get mad properly. I feel like he would apologize to you if you stepped on his toe. I just feel like that's kind of Ben's nature. But I figured out Ben reminds me of a dad. And that's not like old man status, but you know those dads where you had your friends and the dad was just super... everything a dad could be, perfectly chill, never got upset, was always like, everything's awesome. Meanwhile, your dad was like, my dad was nuts, so I didn't know that there was a different kind of dad other than mine. But you remind me of that dad, that Ward Cleaver dad.
Well, golly, if there's anything that we can from this discussion today.
Like, me and John are angry by nature. That's just who we are.
Yep.
Like, my husband doesn't put the toilet paper on the toilet paper roll. Instead, he sits it on top of it. And I rage from the bathroom. I'm screaming literally bloody murder. And he's just chill. He's like, I'll fix it when you get out of there, hon. And I'm screaming. Yeah, me and John are just a different...
Yeah, except when I actually do get mad, not a good thing.
I don't know that I would probably be scared, actually.
It's not good.
Yeah, Ben can explode. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it happen.
Out of context, that's a little weird. So
No, I mean he literally just fire, explosion, leaves a crater, just smoking shoes left on the ground.
So you are the reason Theramore is a thing. Got it.
Yeah,
basically.
it was all, I was inside that mana bomb. And they're all like, "Hey Ben, guess what? Spider-Man sucks." I'm like, "What?" And then they just dropped it. Yeah, not good. But anyways, Belle, thank you very much for joining us. It has been a interesting conversation, but a lot of fun.
I feel like I didn't bring much to the table tonight, guys. I feel
a lot.
Dad jokes.
Quite a bit. Yeah, well, I mean, much more than dad jokes.
You called Ben a dad. I mean, literally.
That's a big thing, but no.
I see you at BlizzCon, I'm gonna be like, Dad? I'm gonna make it super awkward in public, and people are gonna be like, what the hell?
Yes, child, come to me.
Good stuff. You are going, right? You both are. Are you going, John?
Yeah.
Are you guys going to the party?
Of course.
Yeah.
You gonna dress up because it's costume?
Oh
no,
I did not realize that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's Hallow's End theme.
Oh right.
My party, not Dave's party. Which I guess they're all like a party of people. Yeah, costumes. Any chance adults get to wear costumes, like you don't have to even put any pressure on them. You just Hallow's End, bring costumes, and they're like, yes, they're.
I think here's what we need to do. We need to make cloaks a thing again.
Yes.
I agree.
Cloaks are basically awesome hoodies, and I think they should come back.
I agree with you, actually. I think that would be, I'm going to have to work on that, actually.
I don't know how we get them to come back, but they need to come back.
Well, this is a good start. You two could show up to DitchCon in cloaks.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Nope, there will definitely be something else.
A sock.
That makes it a different kind of party, but I'm not necessarily opposed, if I'm being honest.
I mean, Ben, you do you, but I will be wearing something more than a cloak.
Oh, okay. Now, if people are interested in this party, is there any place where they can get info or, like, say, help support it?
Oh, I forgot. I should have thought about that in advance to plug myself. I'm really terrible at that kind of stuff. So ditchcon.com has all the things. And yeah, back the party. If you're going to BlizzCon and you have the funds available to do the legendary backer, you get the Hallows Brew Pass included with the legendary backer tier, which is free drinks during the party. So I look at it kind of like support now, savings later. If you plan on drinking, if you don't plan on drinking, don't worry about it. But we are going to be doing in July, we're going to be releasing a very limited amount of the brew passes for first come, first serve for free drinks. We're completely changing it this year, but we are just over 7,000, I think. So we're 60%, 57, $5 a dollar. Even if you just share it, if you don't have the means, that's okay. You don't need to have the means. Just share it. Come anyway, though.
Yeah.
Bring your friends. There's going to be a candy bucket there.
Nice.
Like a giant one. I've already started, because we're doing all the decorations because we want to fully trick out the Hallow's End theme. We really want to play that up. So there's a lot of really good ideas.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm going all in. We're changing the game this year to up it a little bit. So
very cool.
Oh yeah. All I'm missing is a horseman.
Well, John does have experience riding horses.
But does he have experience riding them with no head?
I mean, there would be some who would hear the opinions and thoughts I have and argue that I don't, in fact, have a head. But no, why did you say I have experience riding horses?
Because I was making a joke and wanted to know where you could go with it.
All right.
Or you'd ride along with it, if
I was just like, is there any experience I have whatsoever with horses?
Well, I was thinking roleplay came to mind, but this is PG-13 show, I'm assuming. So
it varies.
Although recently, somebody thought that ERP was excited roleplay.
It is, as a matter
Or
of
exciting,
fact.
exciting roleplay.
It
I'm
is
like,
both
seriously?
those things and so much more.
It is.
Yeah. Exactly.
Uh,
Until the party and until next time you're on the show, where can people find you?
Bella Ponecast, pretty much everywhere. Come check out the show. Don't watch this week's episode, guys. I have had a rough couple of weeks because I was trying to do the Kickstarter and trying to get everything done. And I drank from the beginning of the show. Halfway through the show, it was blatantly obvious that I had had too much, but I still did it anyway. I kept drinking. It was the worst ever. Everybody loved it, but it was the worst ever, in my opinion, because it was completely not professional, Belle. I went downstairs and my husband's like, "Are you drunk?" Okay, maybe a little bit, but to be fair, it doesn't take very much. So don't watch this last week's episode if you're new. But yeah, just Homecast is pretty much everywhere.
You realize that every single person who heard that is going to go watch it right now.
I know. It's one of those things where I can't take it back, so I just have to
I like
let it
your
happen.
plug method. It's good. It's you should listen to our show, but not the last one.
I apologized in our Discord this morning. I'm like, I'm really sorry, guys, for last night's show. I don't have an excuse.
Nice. John, how about you? Where can people find you?
Well, when I'm not practicing my pony play, you can follow me on Twitter at John_Jagger, or you can catch me talking about Heroes of the Storm on Core, or playing some Dungeons and Dragons on There Will Be Dungeons. Wow, okay, that's a new... That's a new yell you put in there.
I was improvising this time.
Which I went through those pretty quick because I do want to give just a special notice that the Heroes Charity Brawl 2018 is coming up. We are lightly talking about it at this point, and the GoFundMe is up. So everybody check out gofundme.com/Heroes Charity Brawl 2018. I know that URL is awful, but there are issues with the forwarding of heroescharitybrawl.com, so that's the way you have to get to it for now. But go ahead and check it out. It's coming up on June 2nd, so it's actually going to happen pretty soon here. We've already got some donations, which is fantastic, and it's going to be like previous years. Lots of Heroes community and podcasters are getting together. We're going to play some wacky, zany games. Games that are so weird and out there that Blizzard themselves has stolen one of them and made it an actual brawl at one point.
Is it the Gold Rush one? Because that's the best game.
Yes, they stole Battle for the Bullion.
Yeah.
They called it Booty Coffers when they took it. So
I'm in.
So yeah, check it out. Check out the GoFundMe. Check it out when we air. I'll be talking about it more. We just announced that Jules is going to be joining us. She's going to be filling in one of the slots, so that's very exciting as well. And yeah, thanks for the support.
You bet.
I support, and I don't even know what I'm supporting, because I don't live outside of WoW. You guys know that. I'm in my WoW box. Outside of GTA, and I started recently playing Ark. I don't step outside of and The Sims. That doesn't count. I don't really count The Sims as a game, right? I count that as like
nice to be
tiny life.
It's like my creativity where I get to live in a different universe where I'm rich. But yeah, I don't live outside of my WoW box very often, but I support it. Whatever it's going on, it's charity. I'm in. I'll throw money.
Ben.
Yes, John.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing pretty good.
Good.
I'm realizing that we're starting to run out of time. We got a movie to catch.
Oh, shit. Right, we're going to go to a movie. Ben, where can people find you in as quickly that manner as possible?
The best place to find me is on Twitter. I am at Ben the Mage. It's where I talk about other things that I do, like Battle Pets with Eludra, where we talk about battle pets in the World of Warcraft. There's a new episode that just got posted today. Check it out. Eludra and I have fun. We're both really just kind of wacky and whatever the whole episode. So check it out. A lot of fun.
That would never describe either of you as people.
No, never. Other than that, after the comic Fest or the Phoenix Comic Fest next week, I'm going to start getting back into streaming more. If you want to be ahead of the game and subscribe, just go to twitch.tv/Ben Bumhofer. I'm going to be doing more there.
Did you say Phoenix Comic Fest?
Yes.
Are you going to be in my very own town?
I'm in Phoenix.
We're in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Do you both live here?
Yeah.
Phoenix?
No way.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Where the hell have I been?
Every
Phoenix.
time you mentioned it, I thought you were talking about us, not you.
I live in Buckeye.
Oh, really?
We're Northern Phoenix.
Yeah.
Holy crap. We'll talk more later because you guys got a movie, but this whole time.
That's awesome.
Wow, I'm really thick-headed, right? Like I never, ever. That explains why you were saying it's been hot for 2 months, and I was like, how does he know what it's like? Guys, we're state mates, and we didn't even know it. That's embarrassing.
Oh, this is great.
I'm sweating. Oh my
I know. That was the me too. That was the one hint because you were talking about it earlier and I was like, wow, she really knows our weather. And then I was like, yeah, that one day of winter. And you were like, yeah, one day of winter. And I was like, yeah, she knows the Arizona jokes.
That's amazing.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Well, screw you guys for not inviting me to your movie.
Well, look, you know what? We got time if you want to come.
No, but seriously, we are gonna have to. We'll definitely have to talk offline. That is awesome, though. That is super exciting because Rem lives here now too. So like that is killer.
All right.
Yeah.
I like where we're going with that.
This is good.
Well, everybody just saw us like become best friends.
Hey, if
On the
you went to Phoenix Comic Fest, I'll be there. Nevermore's got a booth, and I'm going to be helping her man it. So
Awesome. I guess I'll actually have to attend.
yeah, good stuff.
That's great. I'm gonna go downstairs because Rem's here helping my husband with the pool. I'm gonna be like, yo, these guys totally live here.
What are you going to say if they both turn around and go, we know?
Who?
Oh, I would be really mad if they didn't, because I don't meet people from Arizona very often. Like, I meet occasionally someone in a Facebook group will be like, oh, I'm a gamer and I'm from Arizona, but I don't meet people like I actually know outside of, what's his name, Zaru. He's in Tucson, which I don't really, I don't consider that Arizona.
You're
That's
either
south.
in Phoenix or you're not.
Right, and I'm on like right outside of Goodyear. I'm not in the far Buckeye. I'm in the
Gotcha.
close.
Okay.
That's
I would
awesome.
say where we are, but that gives us like total street addresses and
Well, you already told me your location, so I pretty much already know where you guys are at.
yeah. All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're going to Desert Ridge for the movie.
I know exactly. Oh, you guys are in a little farther than I would assume. That's cool, though. I'm in.
Oh,
Guys, we're gonna be best friends.
Yeah.
this
I'm
is
gonna show up
awesome.
at your door at 2:00 in the morning with my onesie and a can of spam.
Okay.
Well,
Surprise.
the party has begun.
Go to your movie, guys.
Well, hey, if you want to join this party later on, follow us on Twitter at AzerothRT. If you have any questions, comments, want to tell us where you live, go ahead and send those emails to AzerothRoundtable@gmail.com. And of course, all of our episodes are found on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, AzerothRoundtable.com, and anywhere you can find those podcasts, good or bad. We're I don't know which one we are, but we're there.
I don't know. I think it depends entirely on how they feel about icons on the BattleNet launcher this week.
That's true.
And now they all know where we live, so we're really screwed if they're angry.
I'll show
They're
you
gonna
an
get a-
icon. Ah.
And John, you have one more thing that you need to discuss.
Oh, hi everybody. This show is brought to you by the patrons who support us over at patreon.com/AzerothRT. As always, we want to thank our Murloc Club supporters, Frasley S., Kryn Haster, Mimi H., Aaron, and Simon. Thank you for being a part of the Murloc Club. Ben's going to make a Murloc sound. If you want to join them and the other patrons, head on over to patreon.com/AzerothRT, where you can help support the show. We thank you, as always.
Thank you, everybody. So, whether you want icons on your BattleNet or not, thank you very much for listening this week. And everybody, be good to each other. Bye now.
All right, that was your sign-off. Good job.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah. So, holy crap, I can't believe you live here. This is awesome.